All right, y'all. Welcome back to Talks with TJ. I was going to make this a news and reviews video. However, I think this video is just going to be specifically for Fannita and what happened over the past weekend. I am a Fannita fan. However, I wasn't here for the antics. It started off really good when she was talking about the pay disparity. It started off really good when she wanted to treat herself and she wanted to post that on the internet about her going to go buy Prada. And then it turned into her beefing with Machiavelli. And then it turned into Denzel Dion jumping into the chat. And then it turned into her saying that she used to be poor too. And how she used to eat out of the trash can like a rabbit. And then it transformed into her own live crying. And then we have a whole bunch of deleted TikToks that everybody has screen recorded. And it has been basically a mess, right? So starting off, I was with her going to go buy designer, right? She's worked extremely hard, and she wanted to treat herself. It is okay to find value in things that are luxury goods, even when they may not be the highest of quality, right? It is a status symbol. We do live in a world that is surrounded by money and beauty, popularity, and fame. This is a giant ass high school on this planet that we live on. So when you do have the body, when you do have the look, when you do have the money, you don't even need the talent. It's just when you have that package, it takes you a long way. You don't have to be the smartest in the room. You don't have to be the most talented in the room. You just have to have that combination of things that people desire, right? So as being a plus-sized 4C, darker complected black woman, she had almost every strike against her than being queer, right? If she was queer on top of that, she would have had everything counted against her, right? Because it's not desirable to be dark-skinned nowhere on this planet. It's not desirable to be fat nowhere on this planet, nowhere first world on this planet. And it's not desirable to have hard textured hair, braids, or anything of that nature that symbolizes any Afro phenotypes nowhere on this developed planet. So for her to have that entire combination, I believe the only thing that made her likable at the time was her being funny, right? One thing that she did continue to say, and it's consistent all the way through, is that she is the same person fat as she is now thinner, right? It hasn't changed. Now, what has changed is that now people are paying attention to that, right? She could mask her personality by being funny when she was big, right? Now, if she tries to be funny and she's mean, she's skinny. All eyes are now on her, right? And she's not even particularly skinny. She has lost a lot of weight since 2022 by doing the surgery, like the gastric sleeve or the gastric bypass, whatever surgery she decided to choose to do the weight loss. And then she's now went to go get a tummy tuck and her boob job. Because we saw that transition, a lot of people on the internet are now looking back to when she was bigger and when she had went on a Tark trip, or a lot of the comments she made when she was bigger. She was saying the same shit now that she's saying then. And now everybody's just like, oh, she's a mean girl. Oh, she's saying she's like classist. She's attacking light-skinned women because the way she attacked Machiavelli. A lot of think pieces are now coming up that probably would not have came up if she was still big, because it would have been masked by her being funny, right? Nobody would have took her seriously, right? Nobody would have got offended because she wasn't desirable. She wasn't looked at. She was pushed to the side. So this fat girl can say whatever she wants. Oh, ha, ha, ha. But you're still big and you're still black. But now that you're thin, right, and the mug sits a little bit better, right, and she's coming into her body and she's starting to gain that confidence, because a lot of it was just arrogance. And I can say that as a fan, as a supporter, a lot of it was just arrogance, and that arrogance masked her insecurities, right? But now we're starting to see the confidence. Along with that confidence, the arrogance is rising as well. Now that's a lot of her old shit is being brought to the forefront. The Tarte trip, she had went on this trip that was originally for another black creator. The black creator ended up leaving because of not only pay discrepancies, but racial tensions as well. She replaces that girl on the trip and acts like everything's buddy-buddy. It almost looked like she was the token. She was the replacement. And that it looked like she, on the flip side, was making the most of the situation because she has not been in that place before, right? It was almost a happy to be here. That's what I mean by that token thing. Then I saw a lot of the clips of her talking about poverty, right? So she, I don't believe, is attacking poor people. I think she is attacking the the poverty itself. And I believe that where she's came from and a lot of the trauma that comes with growing up poor or growing up not fortunate, it sometimes puts you in a position where you now have all of your manifestations and all of that money all at once. It turns you into an ugly person for a while, right? You're not accustomed to having this amount of money. You're not going to have maybe the class that comes along with it, or you being reserved. It just, you never grew up in that position, so you just don't know what it means to actually have this amount of money, right? So it comes out in ugly ways. And like I said before, she's not attacking poor people per se, but she is attacking poverty in itself, right? Like, I don't want to go back there. I hated it when I was there. Now I hate poor, period. And everything that comes along with being poor. That's why she made the comment, we're not even halfway through the year and I'm already 6 figures in. It's a flex. It is. It's distasteful. It's insensitive, but it's a flex. And if that is something that she's proud of, and maybe coming from her position, not being able at one point to rub two nickels together, then hey, eventually when she has this money long enough, it will work itself out, right? She's going to be a couple of years in and she's going to be able to start buying designer more frequently in private, right? She doesn't have to post it on the internet. She doesn't have to show y'all what she's doing or what she's buying or what she's flying in. And also, she doesn't, the way she does it, she's going to be attacked because it's not done in a way where it makes you want to be her. She's coming off as Nan and a boo-boo, look at me, now look at you. And that, I think that's what is getting underneath people's skin. Because I see other influencers such as Denzel Dion do it for years. And it just masked it in being cunt, honestly. It's the girls not doing this, the girls are not doing that. Look at the position that I'm in, the girls are not doing that, and I have to keep reminding myself that. It's still elitism, it's still classism, right? She's just doing it in a more provocative and raunchy way, right? And that's what's also getting underneath people's skin. It's kind of very in your face. It's not subtle. I think that she does need therapy. I think she has to get over the fact that she's not big anymore. I think she has to get over the fact that she does not have to compensate for all the lost time she had when she was big and insecure. So now she's skinny and she's going to be mean and she's going to attack every angle that has been oppressing her as a darker complected big girl, right? So poverty, weight, complexion, she's going to attack all of it. Because it's now I'm skinny, now what, bitch? That's really the energy now. Now I'm skinny, now what, bitch? What are you going to say? Because now we're the same size. What are you going to say about me now? Y'all didn't say this when I was, I couldn't say this when I was big because that's where you got a leg up on me in this society, right? Because now you were desirable and I wasn't. But now, bitch, we both desirable. Now we both have money. Now both of our mugs sit. So what are you going to say about me now? And I think that's where she's at. I really think that is her disposition now. And it comes from, again, a place of hurt. She will eventually move past that. If she seeks therapy, she works out those past traumas, she can exude that same energy without actually having to verbally say it. She can now walk into a room with that confidence without it coming off as being arrogant, you know? I seen the 2 videos that she posted with her and her good girlfriend, that when they had made that like fake beef early last week. And she was trying to find her sexy. She was trying to find where, like, she was trying to get a hold of her new body. So I wanted to give her grace in that aspect. And I know that y'all attacked her in the beginning of last week because of those 2 videos, because I seen it. Shit wasn't fair. She was just trying to find her sexy. You could tell that she was very awkward in her body. She lost a considerable amount of weight really quickly, right? I've seen think pieces where they said it all went to her head because her body is bad shaped. It's not cute. It's a little funny. It's not cute. It's not appropriate. She is trying to come into her own. She's still a young woman. We should give her grace in that regard. I'm not excusing her and those poor comments. I just know where it comes from. I'm not excusing her comments when it comes to complexion, but I know exactly where that comes from, right? Because skinny, light-skinned bitches always had the leg up. The proximity to whiteness, the proximity to thinness, with Afro phenotypes will always be desired, right? They want the black ass with the flat stomach and the black titties, but not on the black person. Also, I'm not trying to like judge her body or like trigger any like body dysmorphia that she has, but her being a bigger girl, it also like masks a lot of her shape, right? So even with her getting thinner, the body shape is still not desirable because the waist is not thin, the hips are not wide, the ass is not fat. And I've seen y'all take super undesirable pictures about her body, and we do not know the damage that it will do on a 25-year-old. Though she's not innocent and she's not perfect, but that shit's not cool. Funny, right? It's an even playing ground on the internet, so it's not cool. I can't lie. The shit is still funny. Now, the shit that she's saying about y'all, also funny. Not about the poverty thing though. Yeah, that you girl, when she made the statement with like, I'm in my house taking house calls and y'all out here splitting chicken dinners with your kids in a time where inflation is at an all-time high, housing rates are at an all-time high, groceries are at an all-time high, and we're all thinning. And to actually be real with you, relative to the cost of living in LA, she's technically not rich. She's in a position where she's comfortable, right? Because if she would have took her salary and went to Texas, then that would have been a different situation. But relative to Los Angeles, it's given middle class. So for those who may feel inferior, you have to look at her income relative to where she lives at. If I made $200,000-$300,000 and I lived in Washington, D.C., I would be middle class. Anything underneath $125,000 in the Washington, D.C. area is lower middle class. And anything below, I'm gonna say 75, baby, you're struggling. On a single income, you can't afford 60 to 70% of the housing in this area, right? And anything between that 75 to 130,000, you can't afford half of the housing in this area. It doesn't get good for you until you surpass $130,000, $140,000. So I can only imagine what it looks like in Los Angeles. I can only imagine what it looks like in California as a whole. So we can find, if y'all want to find comfort in that, then there's that. But again, small town girl. Oh, let's touch on this topic. So they also talked about her also aligning herself to whiteness while simultaneously being traumatized from whiteness. I don't know. I don't get it. I grew up in a county that was predominantly black. I grew up in a city that was predominantly black, and I grew up in an area where a third of the entire metropolitan area looked like me. Another third was Latino. So it was black and brown, majority, right? And that goes for almost every county in the surrounding area. And I am now in a workspace where I'm the minority, and I hate every second of it. I am extremely uncomfortable every single day. I feel like I'm getting judged every single day. I can't approach conflict the way I would have done if I was in a all black setting, because white people are super passive aggressive. So when you come off overtly aggressive or confrontational, then they flee and then they claim victim. That's exactly what the hell that white boy did to Miss Netta. Miss Netta threatened to whoop that ass, and he went to the courthouse and then still antagonizing her. That's some whole nigga shit. But that's going to be for a different video. Jumping into the last portion, she was crying. Oh, baby, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have cried. You shouldn't have got on live and said, I'm crying, I'm going through a lot, my uncle passed away. The girls didn't need to know all that. If you was going to stand on what you said, you was going to stand on what you said. Now, the apology was real shaky. It didn't come off apologetic. It didn't come off as if you were actually feeling apologetic. It came off as, I'm sorry for you girls. I used to be one of you. That's exactly how that video came off. I used to be one of you, and I'm sorry. I know what it means to be like that, but I'm not there anymore, girls, so sorry about it. And that's how that shit came off. So it should have came off a little bit more genuine overall. And you shouldn't have got on live and start crying. Yes, you were not able to grieve the passing of one of your loved ones, and then you turned around and got surgery right after that. And your body and your weight is such a sensitive thing for you. And I know losing someone who is like a father figure to you is also something that you are grieving. You're also grieving your old self. You were the big insecure girl. And that's what we're also seeing. She was the big insecure girl. So she's actually just grieving the death of who she once was, while simultaneously on the internet in the public eye trying to find out who the hell she is now. Once you reach that 25 mark and that frontal lobe develops, and now she's going through this large ass transformation with this influx of eyes and this influx of money, we have to give her just a little bit more grace, right? Let's not say that she's on cocaine, all right? Let's not say that she's spiraling out, please, right? It's just maybe a really rough transition for her, and we all have to watch it on this here internet and judge it. So with that, she shouldn't have went on there and cried overall. That shit was crazy. God, that looked like white tears. Yeah. I'm jumping. So let's jump back into the proximity to whiteness. I never understood that. That's something I disagree with. Her kissing up and wanting to lick up on these white men, and while distrusting white people, is crazy to me. You faced overt racism being the minority in your southern black town, growing up in that ass state. For you to now look like you're like cucking for these fucking white folks, I don't like that. Personal opinion, don't like it. Baby, it need to be big black men only on that roster. If they're not brown, they need to be black, okay? Or Asian LA, like Asian LA do it. The Asians in LA, they do it too. It needs to be some minority, but not white passing Latino either. But those surfer dudes with the chiseled chin and the blue eyes, while you're telling us your experience of being called a fat N-word, not cute. I don't like that. I don't like that for you. It looked real bad. But that is all I have to say on that. It looks real bad. It looks real bad. That's all I have to say on that. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope she seeks therapy. I would like for her to continue to do her podcast. She's super entertaining. She's super funny. The shade is cute. She is a loving person, right? People who tend to be those outer shell mean individuals usually coming from a place of hurt, but when they love hard, and they down for you like 4 flat tires. There's not a bone in my body that don't think that she won't provide for the people around her that she loves. They just got to deal with her bullshit. And that's usually how that shit works anyway, right? To an extent, nobody is perfect. Long as they treat you the way you desire to be treated or show up for you the way you need to be, uh, the way you need them to show up, then that's all that matters. But yeah, that's it for me. It's been 20 minutes. This has been Talks with TJ. Peace.